People ask, well, did somebody write it? Look, I was in the studio, and I was with the studio with some guys, and I was writing, and they was passing me lines, and it was just, yeah, you have a team. It's all right. I'm sure Eminem is in the studio with Royce, and Royce then gave him lines. Or all the amazing lyricists that he's been around, you don't think that they ain't gave him a line or two? It's hip-hop. It's okay. The bottom line was I spit it. And the bottom line was I killed it. And the bottom line was a lot of that I've been researching for years. As far as the stuff that's in it, yeah, of course I wrote that.
So this was an interesting turn of events. We were all convinced that the man had ghostwriters. I didn't think that he would actually come out and admit it. I gotta respect the fact that he did, but I do feel like he's lying because the way that he put it is not really a problem when it comes to rapping. Like a lot of people work in a studio with others and get input on lines or how to deliver a certain line. And you don't always take that advice, but sometimes you do and you change up some of the stuff that you did. And there's not really a problem with that. I promise you, every single artist that you listen to has done that. And there's going to be some people that work independently that are going to maybe even come to this video and be like, I would never take a line from somebody else. I've never done that. And to me, that just means you just don't have friends or you don't have people that give a shit enough about your music to give you that input. What he said is normal. The problem is, I feel like the majority, if not all of it, was ghostwritten. That's when it becomes a problem. Like there's not a single bar in that entire song that sounds like it came from Benzino. If you listen to any of his old stuff, he does not write like that. So as much as I respect the fact that he came forward and he admitted, yes, some people helped me write this, it's more than they just helped you write it by giving you a couple of bars. They literally helped you write it. They wrote the whole entire shit for the most part. And I think that that's just something that he's got to admit. And at this point, we all know it. So you may as well just say it. I don't disagree with the fact that a lot of this might be stuff that he himself has researched, or he may have had the concepts of what he wanted to say to Eminem. I just don't think that he came up with the way to present it in rap format, if that makes sense. Like, I'm pretty sure that he had a bunch of different people that gave him bars. Now, a lot of people are saying, it's Cassidy. It's Cassidy. And I'm not trying to throw any shade on anybody who claims that it's Cassidy or thinks that it's Cassidy. I just don't think so. I think that there's that one part where he said, like, you can catch the fade, fam. Like, that whole sequence, that does sound like Cassidy writing. The delivery sounds like Cassidy. So I wouldn't doubt if Cassidy was in the studio and gave him that little part. But the majority of it is not at all like Cassidy's style. When you really break it down and listen to the internal rhymes and just the way that it was kind of structured, it's not at all how Cassidy's rapped on pretty much anything his entire life. So I think that it came from a lot of different people, potentially battle rappers, which is most likely where it came from. And I thought that it was Math Hoffa, but he apparently has come out and he said that it's not him. Cassidy actually DM'd somebody back, supposedly. I don't know. I've not seen the actual DM. I've not heard an interview or anything. And he claims that it wasn't him either. But this was definitely written by some other people. That's just the facts of life. And I just don't think that there's any way that you can really argue that. But again, I respect him coming forward and trying to say, hey, listen, you know, I didn't do it myself. I was in the studio with other people. They gave me a couple of bars, so on and so forth, which, like I said, partial truth. I just don't believe that really any of it came from him. Maybe a couple bars came from him. But I think that the majority of it came from other people. And maybe he went into the studio with a fully formed diss track and they were there to listen to it, and it ended up with them giving him feedback and saying, no, bro, you can't go at M like this. You got to change all this stuff up. And it turned into like a complete writing session where they took all the concepts he had and then spun it in a way that actually came across dope. I wouldn't doubt that. So I wouldn't doubt if he went in there with some shit. But even if you listen to what he just said, he kind of like says that they gave him some lines, but then he says something about like, you know, all of the concepts were things I researched for years.
And the bottom line was I killed it. And the bottom line was a lot of that I've been researching for years. As far as the stuff that's in it.
The way that he explains it makes it sound like he's almost admitting like these were all my ideas. But I'm not going to go super hard on saying that they're all my written lines, because I think it's just pretty obvious to all of us that they're not. So I don't know if it'll ever come out who it actually is. I hope that it does. It'd be really, really cool if Eminem did respond. I know that he doesn't have to. There's absolutely no benefit in him responding. He'd really just be giving Benzino some attention. But I also feel like he would bury him. And I know that we've heard him say a lot of the different things about Benzino, but this man Eminem is really good at coming up with different angles. And I think that one of the dope angles would be if somehow Eminem was able to find out who it was that Ghost wrote for Benzino and then did a diss track on them. Like that would be one of the craziest things ever. Like, you know, it's just not something that you see much in rap because most people will actually write their own diss tracks, you know. I don't know. It's just very interesting. Like for those of you guys that know me and have heard my Dax diss, obviously I wrote all of that myself. But there's certain lines in there, like the one where I call him like a soccer mom because he had the red pants on and stuff like that, which is literally the background of the entire diss track. That came from somebody named Sin. Shout out to Sin if you happen to watch this. She is amazing. She's not a rapper, but she's extremely witty when it comes to making fun of people. And she said a few things about Dax that I spun into bars and then built my own bars around it because she's good at what she does, right? Like, does that mean that she ghost wrote for me? Not exactly. But did she inspire some of it? Of course. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The problem is if she sat down and she's like, nah, Duane, listen, let me pen this whole thing for you. That becomes an issue. And I think that's the situation that he's in right now. So I don't know where we're going to go from here. I would love to see an Eminem diss. I just found out that Cassius, I'm not sure how to say his name, probably Cassius, has responded for Eminem and diss Benzino. I have actually never heard this man rap. I know that he was on Shady Records. I've heard the name before, but I've never actually heard him. So if you guys are watching this right now, we're on my main channel, Duane TV. This is where I really just talk about things now. My Duane Reacts channel is linked down below in the description. I will also be dropping a reaction to that today. So if you guys are interested, make sure that you go there. We're going to be doing a live tonight, which, you know, I'm already going to have talked about a lot of this, but I'll probably talk a little bit about the Benzino diss to Eminem, the ghostwriting, 21 Savage scamming streamers out here. I might talk about a few of these topics as well as listen to live music and take in people's requests and stuff like that. So if you guys want to stop in, that's where I'll be. But we got to see what happens. You know, there's going to be rumors now probably for the next week or two. Yo, Eminem might drop tonight. M's going to put something out. Yo, I swear I heard a rumor. And it's just like, just don't get too hyped up. Take it with a grain of salt. All of 2023, I heard people talking about M's going to drop an album. It's going to be tonight. It's this weekend. It's next Friday. I promise you, I heard this. And it never happened, right? So it's just, people get really excited around M, and I don't blame them. He's a dope rapper, and I think he's probably one of, if not the best when it comes to dropping these diss tracks. Obviously, Killshot, one of the greatest disses that has ever dropped. And I'm looking forward to him doing something, but again, he doesn't really need to. And I think that it would only really make sense if he found out who the Ghostwriters were and then did a diss track where he disses Benzino, but throws shots at all the other people, which then could spark some whole other shit, which would be very, very, very interesting. But only one way to find out. Wait for it. I'll catch you in the next one, homies.
I blow that flower like Mario. I keep that fire in my hand. Smoking so much, it's like all I show. I don't think they understand. I blow that flower like Mario. I keep that fire in my hand. I just be rolling, that's all I know. I don't think they understand. I just be rocking the boat. Got me a bop in a hole. I'm locked in the coast. I got me a shot and I know. So everything I drop is cold. I be like, who wanna blow on an L? We hit the hotel. A couple of bitches, a little Ciroc. Got one of my niggas. We feeling the vibe. It's comfortable pimpin'.